Welcome to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, the show with a no BS approach to money, hosted by a farm strategy expert and authorized IBC practitioner. Join us as we get real and expose the flaws of traditional financial institutions in order to help farmers take control of their finances, create peace of mind, grow their wealth, and leave a legacy. Now, here's your host, Mary Jo Ehrman.
And thank you for tuning in and joining today's podcast. I love all you people out there that are waiting for Friday morning to have this thing released. I very much appreciate you. Okay, today. I might get a little spitfirey today, talking about asking other people's opinions, especially accountants and estate planners or attorneys or whoever it is that is a professional. This came up in I was talking to another agent, and this came up as a topic. He gave the book to somebody, and they said, well, I'm going to talk to my accountant about it. And they are not the only ones that do this. We have lots of people that do this. And so we were talking about it, and I thought, what a great subject to talk about on a podcast. Because we go to those people that we know, like, and trust to ask them the opinion about, should we do this? And then the big question is, do they know what it is? So should I do this infinite banking thing? And we ask the accountants. And most accountants will say, no, that is terrible. That is whole life insurance, and it is the worst thing that you can do. And then we can come back and say, well, we got this a professional opinion from our accountant who's really, really smart, and they said it's the worst thing that we can do. Is it the worst thing that we can do? What do they know about it? And what questions are you asking the accountant? And I say this all the time. If you've read Farming Without the Bank, if you've read Becoming Your Own Banker, if you've read Wealth Without the Bank or Wall Street, if you've read Warehouse of Wealth, if you've read How Privatized Banking Really Works, if you've educated yourself and listened to the podcasts and listened to the videos and read the website and the blog posts, if you've done those things and the accountant hasn't done it or the attorney hasn't done it, what do they know about the subject? What are you asking them? Just the simple question of, have you heard about this whole life insurance and borrowing against it? Are you asking them, have you heard about infinite banking? Have you read this book, Becoming Your Own Banker? Where are you going for that advice? I understand that you're looking for validation. I 100% understand that. But if you're farming, do you go to the garden center at Walmart and ask whoever's in the garden center what seeds you should be planting? Or do you go to the professional that's selling seed? Do you go to a professional agronomist to see what you need for the ground? Or again, do you go to the garden center and say, do you know what I should put in my crops? Right? Like, we don't go to the dog food section and say, well, I got some cows. What pet, I know this is a pet store and my cows are kind of like my pets. What should I what should I give them? No, you go to the professional in that field. And the funny thing is, if you've read those books, you are more educated than the person you're asking. So you're asking somebody for advice that's not read them. And I always find this a little bit ironic when you take the book, because I've had this happen a number of times. The buyer of the book, they take the book into the financial advisor, it could be a financial advisor too, into the financial advisor, into the accountant, into the attorney's office, and they say, no, this is bad. And they won't even look at the book. They won't even read the book. Now, if somebody says this is a horrible idea and they read the book, great, fantastic. They got an opinion. I'll take their opinion. And I'm not done asking questions, but I'll take their opinion. But if you've not read the book, do you have a right to an opinion? I'm going to say no, because you don't even know what the heck you're talking about, right? It's like the keyboard warriors on Facebook. Oh, it just blows me away. How many keyboard warriors are out there and they got something to say and they don't know what the heck they're talking about. It just blows me away. And that's what we've got in the professional world as well. We have accountants that won't read the book. We have an accountants that have an opinion on something. And it's funny that these accountants and these financial advisors and these attorneys have opinions. And then when I start talking to them, because occasionally they will talk to me. So when I start talking to them, they say, well, there's a lot of fees in those policies. I'm like, there's not a fee in a whole life. There's fees in a universal life, in a variable life, in an indexed. Well, what's the rate of return? Then nothing's guaranteed. No, it's not guaranteed in a universal, in a variable, in an indexed. But we're talking about dividend paying whole life. That's what we're talking about. So you've got your products mixed up. So you're telling the client that this is a horrible idea, when in fact, I would have to agree with you if you're going to use those products. But because you don't know the difference between whole life and universal life, and you're spouting off at the mouth, that leads me to believe you're just making an ignorant comment. I mean, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove your ignorance. And then I just got to put my hands up in the air and say, well, if you're not teachable because you've got the arrival syndrome and you think you know it all, and if you're not teachable, then we're done here. And you're just giving poor advice to your clients who are trying to do better. So keep that in mind when you're talking to these other professionals. Have they educated themselves to let you know what it is? Because guess what? I am not going to say anything about anybody until I've educated myself on what they're doing. And then I can go ahead and say, oh, yeah, that looks like it's a great program. Or, oh, I might ask them these questions. And when my clients tell me that they're going to, they're looking at rotational grazing or cell grazing, or they're buying hair sheep and doing something there, or they're doing something with orchards or vineyards or something out of the norm that I've not heard about. Oh, we're taking dairy waste and turning it into mulch. And we're selling that, and that mulch is better on the fields than injecting that dairy waste right into the fields. And our dairy farmers can make some extra money. Oh my gosh. Now I'm excited. I want to learn about that. And I might tell people about it and say, hey, I haven't done all my research, but check it out. I am not going to say, well, that sounds like a horrible idea. And I don't know anything about it. If the people that we're asking their professional opinion don't have any idea what IBC stands for, they don't have any idea how whole life is different than dividend paying whole life, which is different than universal variable indexed, and they're giving their professional opinion, that is an uneducated professional opinion. Because I'm not going to give somebody tax advice and say, this is how it is. You don't need to go ask your accountant. This is how it is. No, I am going to say, I know a little bit about taxes. This is what I've been told from accountants, but you're going to want to check with your accountant because he or she is the professional. You want to check with your estate attorney because he or she is a professional. But they typically don't want to call a life insurance agent a professional. I totally believe that I am going to surround myself with experts in their profession, and we're all going to work together because I don't want to be the expert at estate planning. In fact, I only want to know enough to be dangerous for you to understand that you can do these few things with estate planning, but then you need to go seek the professional. And I have a professional that you can contact. I need to know somebody that I can trust that understands that particular profession. You don't go to an estate attorney or you don't go to a divorce attorney to do estate planning. That doesn't happen. You go to a divorce attorney for a divorce. You don't go to an estate attorney for a divorce. That is why attorneys specialize in what they do. If you need a real estate attorney, you go to a real estate attorney because they specialize in what they do. I specialize in what I do. I specialize in the infinite banking concept. If you're asking other people their opinion, make sure they are educated. And I know it is super, super hard to find people that understand this concept. I get that 100%. But please understand who you're taking advice from. Is it a keyboard warrior? Is it somebody spouting off at their mouth? Or is it somebody that's actually used the concept? Somebody that's actually looked at it and read into it. And if they don't like it, ask them why. And when you find out the why, are you going back to your agent to say, this is the rebuttal that I got from the accountant, from the financial advisor, from the attorney. These are the things that they said why they don't like it. Can you explain to me why they would say that? A good client and somebody that wants to be successful will always come back and get the full explanation so that they can look at what is happening in the answers, what's happening with the whole process, and they can make their own decision, right? And those are my best clients that have asked and then come back to get the full answer. Or said, I talked to my uncle, I talked to my grandpa and grandma, I talked to the financial advisor, I've talked to 15 people. And guess what? They all said that this was a joke and this is why. And then I can come back and explain those answers. I'm not going to feed you full of some BS and try to sell you something. It's education. You need to decide if you want to do this or not. Not 10 years later go, gosh, I wish I would have not listened to that accountant or that estate attorney. I wish I would have done this instead. Okay? So that is just, what are you asking those people? Who are you taking advice from? And is the accountant, do they have your best interest in mind, or are they being lazy and not educating themselves? We don't need lazy. You have gone and read the book and you have not been lazy. You've ordered the book. You've looked at it. You're trying to decipher it because they're the professional. They should know more than you and they're too lazy to read it. What does that say about the person you're asking advice from? Have they called me? Have they talked to me? What questions are you asking them? Okay, think about that. After you get the book or after you listen to the podcast and go, whoa, this is too good to be true. This lady is scamming me. She just wants to sell some books to make money. That one's always funny. She's just selling that high commission life insurance. If those are the answers you're getting, we've missed the mark, people. We've missed the mark. So of the professionals or the other people you're going to for advice. Okay, I hope that helped. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if you have questions, comments, concerns, or a topic that you want to address. If you have not, please leave me a review. A 5-star review is always appreciated. Apparently that helps with stuff. So please leave me a review. I would appreciate that as well. That's it. That's all I got for you today. Except remember, the illusion of knowledge is scarier than most things out there. The illusion of knowledge. Don't be a keyboard warrior and don't have the arrival syndrome and don't be that guy or that gal. Be the person that speaks with knowledge, or direct them to the person that speaks with knowledge. Right, guys, you have an absolutely fantastic day, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.